Good morning. Welcome to St. Paddy's Day. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Hope you're having a good day. Just giving it an extra moment just to make sure the video is working. Yep, here we go. Good morning and happy St. Paddy's Day. I hope you're having a good day. See, I'm wearing the green. Today, this will just be a short one, but I wanted to talk to you about if not now, when, which actually is a line from a Tracy Chapman song. Very good song. But she's right when she asks this question. Often what we do in our lives is we say, I'll look after my health later, I'll do that later. It's all later, but particularly in regards to our health and our mental health. So we hear that, oh, maybe maybe we need to be eating better, or maybe we need to exercise, or there's all these things that we hear that we need to do. And often when younger, particularly, in your 20s and 30s, we just say, oh, well, I'll do that later. And we wait. And what happens is then it gets to later and we start having health problems, and these things accumulate, and here we go, things get worse and worse. My encouragement is to think about if not now, when. Because for many of us, for example, with myself, I'm 50, I'll be 51 this year. I can't afford to put it off till later now. I'm too old for that, right? So if not now, when? Well, it's now, because my life is now. So now's the time that I actually need to be looking after it, because it's my life, and there's the longest relationship you will have in your whole life is your relationship with your body. It's the longest relationship you're going to have. You do have to figure out a way to get on with your body. You do have to figure out a way to nurture and nourish your body. You do have to figure out a way to inhabit your body and stay as well as you can. And that is now. For most of us, that is now. And if you're younger, I would encourage you to get in the habit of doing this so that you don't have as many problems when you get older. Because what we do know is just things like, muscle mass. I think after the age of 30, we lose 5% every year or something. And you think, well, why does that matter? Well, I don't care about muscle mass. But when you get older, that means that you won't actually be able to get up to take yourself to the toilet or wash yourself or do the things you need to do, because you won't have enough muscle mass to hold yourself up. So muscle mass is all about function. It's about the function to be able to get around, and things like bone mass, we don't really think much about that. But again, you'll get to a certain age, you'll have a fall and you'll break your hip, or you'll break your arm, or you'll break your leg. And again, you'll be non-functional and you have to rely on other people to look after you. So looking after ourselves now matters, and looking after ourselves as we get older matters, because if not now, when? Like, at what point do you realize that you need to actually look after your body? As interesting, because we know it with cars. I mean, you get a car and most people will give their car services, and most people will, you put petrol in, you put oil in, you put the water in, and you do the service, and you look after your car. But what the difference though is, with a car, it can ultimately be replaced, or the parts can be replaced, but it's not quite that simple with your body. It's just not that simple at all. So if we're going to put the time and effort into working out the schedule for the getting my car's in being serviced today, if we're working out the schedule for servicing, the service of my body should be more important than the services of my car, but we just don't think of it that way. And unfortunately, the more we lose our health, the more these things become cumulative, and you get on that medication, and that medication causes that symptom. So then you're on another medication for the symptom that was caused by the first medication. Then you're on another medication for the symptom that was caused by the second medication to help the first. This stuff, doesn't bode well. So if not now, when? Really, at what point are you going to start looking after your body? At what point you're going to start looking after your mental health? It's really up to you. It's your choice. But don't kid yourself that not choosing, you're getting away with anything by not choosing. Because choosing not to look after yourself now is a choice. And that's fine. It is your choice. But choosing not to look after yourself now is a choice. And it's a choice for less function as you get older, and for less health as you get older, and maybe for not getting as old. And I know stuff happens, and anything can happen to anyone, so that's fair enough, that's true. However, a lot of people's health problems come from their lifestyle, and there's so much we can reverse, especially all the metabolic syndrome things, the blood pressures, the high cholesterols, the high blood glucose, the insulin resistance, the type 2 diabetes, all of those, and the fatty livers, all of those things can be avoided, and all of those things can be reversed, right? And they are the things that will then lead into the dementias and the heart disease and the strokes and those problems. So if not now, when? If you've started to get diagnosis, I would suggest to you that it's definitely now. But even better, start doing some preventative care before then. But just have a think about that. If not now, when? When's the time you're going to start looking after your health? It matters. And I know that we've got other things that we do in our life. And sometimes we're responsible for children, and we're responsible for our parents, and we're responsible for other people that we're looking after. And there might only be minimal availability for you to do anything to look after your health at the moment. But there's always something you can do. I've talked about this before. If nothing else you can do, you can always just breathe. If there's nothing else you can do, you could probably learn to say nice things to yourself and not say nasty things to yourself. You could drink some more water. That's not impossible to do in a busy life when there's lots going on. You could occasionally remember to try and make sure there's protein with your meals. That's a really good idea. So we don't have to all do 45-minute workouts every day and 1 hour meditations and drink green smoothies and whatever. That's not realistic for lots of people. And we sometimes think that that's what self-care has to look like. What it has to look like is, what can I do today that's going to be beneficial for my health, that's going to nourish my body, and that's going to keep me well and functional as I get older. And movement has to be part of that. It has to be a part of that. You have to be moving your body. So if not now, when? I don't know. That's up to you. But just a reminder that, when does happen, and you get the results of what you've done when you were younger. And now's as good a time as any to start paying attention to your health. And you don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start paying attention and start doing little bits, and creating good habits for your health. And if you do need help with stress, join our Stress Less program next week. Or if you don't need help with stress, but you want to know the strategies for helping you manage stress, join our Stress Less program next week. I've put the link above. I'll pop it below as well. It's only $97, and it's a brilliant program. It goes for 6 weeks in a private Facebook group where we teach you a whole bunch of stress strategies, from anything from nutrition through to sleep and energy and boundaries and mindset, and lots of bits and pieces that just are really useful. But it's very simple, very easy, very useful. It's like a course, I suppose you call it. You don't have to be available at any particular time. You'll learn lots of strategies, and it's designed for people who are overwhelmed. So we're not going to overwhelm you. It's all fine. But yeah, link is above. Join our Stress Less program. Maybe that can be your start to, if not now, when? Okay, start looking after your health now. Start looking after your mental health now, and join us in our Stress Less program, or book a consultation with one of us. There's 2 nutritionists at Informed Health, and we can help you with all of these metabolic syndromes and preventative health things, that kind of thing. We do one-to-one consultations, just for those who don't realise that. So if not now, when? So whether it's a group program with us, whether it's just reading some of the things on our blog at informedhealth.com.au, or whether or not it's booking in a consultation, a one-to-one consultation. If not now, when? Or whether it's just go for a walk. Okay, that's a good thing too. So look after your health. There's not a given that you're just going to have health to get old. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way for most people. Some people are very lucky, and some people get to be Keith Richards of the world. Keith Richards, from the Rolling Stones. Some people can just do anything, get away with anything, and they get to live a really ripe old age and be relatively well, I suppose. But many of us are not that lucky, and we have to work for it. And you really do need to work if you want to maintain your mental health, your brain function, your body function, your independence, and all those things as we get older. And we figured out ways of living longer, but we haven't necessarily figured out ways of living well for that length of time. And if it turns out that we're one of the lucky ones that gets to live longer, I don't know about you, but if I have any say over the matter, I really would love it to be that I have function, and that I'm independent, and that I'm well, because otherwise what's the point? So if there's anything I can do to control it, I'm going to. And anyway, if we can help you with that, let us know. And our link is above for Stress Less program. I'll also pop the link below. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.